teammates, the city's definitely embraced me, and it means a lot to me. Kind of speaks on the character, and um, I really enjoyed my time here. I really hope it's not coming to an end forever, but I've, in a short time period, I've had a bunch of great memories, whether it be with, my teammates out to dinner or celebrating big wins or being out to, or going to Sixers games or, spending time with my family. It's something I definitely always value. Kind of coming in the situation, I always heard that, man, this locker room is great, tight-knitted, a bunch of high-character guys, and, I'm pretty honored to be able to experience it, for what, 10, 11 weeks or whatever it was.
You just touched on it there. Obviously, we don't know what the future holds right now, but what can you say about the culture of this Eagles team?
I think that Doug says it, this is the new norm, and, being in the Super Bowl more consistently. I think it starts with the guys that you have in the locker room and a bunch of unselfish guys, and it's fun to grow with those dudes. So, the sad thing about, being here today is that, you look around and this locker room's never going to be the same. And that's kind of what hits, a soft spot in my heart. So, but, who knows what's going to happen next? Just got to trust in God's plan and rest up for now.
It's been a few years since you were in free agency. It's been a few years since you were a free agent. What are you looking for in the market this year?
I didn't think I'd have to really think about this for at least another 3 or 4 weeks. So I honestly haven't even thought about it yet. The first time around, it was a fun process. But we'll see what happens. I definitely love to stay here and help this city grow and help this team grow. But we'll see what happens.
Your role here clearly wasn't what it was with the Lions when you were kind of the featured guy. Is that what you would like to get back to, or would you be okay in a limited role? Or they don't want to say limited role.
I want to get back to going deep into the playoffs and winning Super Bowls. In Detroit, I've had a bunch of really great stats, but no playoff wins. I know what talent I have and I know what I bring to the table, but at the end of the day, it's about winning playoff games and getting the Super Bowls, and that's what I want to do. With me being on year 9 or going into 10, the stats, they're whatever.
The desire to get back to the Super Bowl, the desire to get more playoff wins, is that going to be the entire focus pretty much outside of financial for you heading into free agency?
Like I said, this wasn't something I wanted to think about quite yet. I'm going to talk to my family. I'm going to talk to my agency. I'm going to pray on it and see what happens. I got a little time before it becomes, real. I think free agency doesn't start till March or something. And who knows? Maybe I don't even get to that point. Maybe I'm here, and we'll see. But who knows?
When you first got here, you guys were competing for a playoff spot. They traded for you to presumably get into the playoffs. What was that last run like? The 4-game winning streak and getting into the playoffs and everything.
It was something pretty special. This team has gone through a lot of adversity before I'd even stepped in this locker room, and even after coming into this locker room, especially dealing with the quarterback situation, having your guy go down to an injury, and then having Nick step up and not even miss a beat. It's pretty special, and I don't see a lot of teams being able to do that. What we win 6 straight or 5 straight, whatever it was. That's pretty special. But it's a testament to Nick and the guys around him. We believed in ourselves this entire time, even when we were 4-6. When I first got here, I think we lost the first 2 games. We still believe. We believe that we'd be right there in the playoffs, and we just need to get in. And we got in and did beat the Bears, which not many people gave us a chance. So that's something to be proud of. Obviously, last night wasn't what any of us thought would happen, especially with getting that game. But hey, it is what it is.
Golden, a lot of players often say that they owe it to themselves to test the market, to go into free agency and not make any early decisions. Is that the approach you took the first time? Did you feel like no matter what, you were going to at least go hear what the offers were?
My first time, I was young. My first time, I was definitely had the highest bidder in mind. This time, I don't know. I don't know. I want to go to a team that has a chance. If I don't stay here, of course, I would love to stay here. But if I don't end up being here, I don't want to. My years are limited. I don't have time to go to someone who's trying to rebuild. I need to go somewhere where they believe they can win now. They have solid pieces, and that's what I want to do. But who knows? I mean, again, this is all something I had to think about a little bit.
Yeah. So your mindset could be a little bit different, though.
Yeah, I mean,
with age and experience here.
Yeah, I mean, but again, I don't have to make any decisions right now. I'm still trying to get over this L we took yesterday. But I'll talk to like I said, I'll talk to my family, my agency, pray on it, and we'll see.
What can be said about this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we're a special group. People want to find out what it is, and I think it's the fact that we, love each other, and we honestly play for the man next to you. And so whether that's, with Brooks going down and everybody cleaning the bench just to give him some encouragement and let them know that we're still fighting for him. And there's other examples like that throughout the year. We have everybody contribute. And so, for us, that plane ride home, while at first was, a little disappointing, was just like, yeah, this is the last couple moments we had. We had a good time, laughed it up. Knowing that, this team, we won't have the opportunity to play together again. Every year you get, 30% change of your team. And so, I think the group that we had this year are going to be proud of what we put together in this season.
Malcolm, the inconsistent up and down start to the season made things rather tense at the end in terms of you had to win and you had to get healthy to get in. Going into next year, what do you think can be done differently to maybe get off to a faster start?
I mean, having, your best players is probably going to help. I don't know. You can't predict, what you'll go through. At the end of the day, your goal is to play in the postseason, and however you get there, it doesn't really matter. There's going to be, I think when we look back at the season, there's probably two games we should have won, and then all of a sudden, you're talking about winning the NFC East and having a home playoff game. But, you can do that, all day. At the end of the day, we were where we wanted to be. So I think the lesson, or one thing that you look at is, even early in the year, those games that you should win, you got to find a way to get them, just because racking up wins, helps you obviously in the long run. We knew that, from winning the Super Bowl.
Obviously, some games are winnable, some games are less winnable. Last night's game clearly was winnable. How much more frustrating does that make it when you consider the score?
I mean, it's frustrating. We felt like we were, that close, but yeah, I mean, we're proud of what we were able to do. Sometimes you just don't come up with it. Guys battle. You can find a play here, play there that make a difference, but that's any game, And so, for us, it's like I said, it's disappointing, but we got no regrets.
And so when you look big picture at the roster, it was pretty clear they kind of loaded up this year for another run, bringing in veterans. Are you kind of acknowledging the fact this locker room is going to look much different next year, just given the contract situation?
Yeah, I mean, it is going to look different every year. I mean, even this year it looks different than last year. So that's one thing that's guaranteed to happen. It's crazy to imagine what this team would have looked like if we could have stayed healthy with all the people that we did have. But that's the nature of this business. So we'll see what happens. We show up training camp and see who we got, see who makes the roster, and then you go ahead with that.
Do you anticipate a decent amount of turnover this year to next year? Maybe more so in years past here?
Nah, I mean, I've been here in the Chip Kelly era, so yeah, nothing will surprise me. No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you got a lot of veteran guys, a lot of guys that contribute, a lot of young guys that I think have put together a good body of work that could demand some money outside of here. So that comes down to Howie and individual guys, where they want to be, where they see their career at. But the one thing I do know is we've built a solid culture around here that I think will be a destination for people in free agency if they want to come to, you know, a team that will compete every year. But, you know, it's a business.
Now,
where you
we
stand,
saw
where's
you, we
the
saw
team?
you and Doug kind of have a hug outside the locker room as you came off the field. Just how has your guys' relationship evolved now, ups and downs of 3 years, and
Yeah.
what do you kind of appreciate about him as a head coach?
I mean, it's definitely developed, and I think, you know, for everybody with Doug, it's you know, you get gain more and more respect with him the more and more you go through. You know, it's easy to be, you know, great and lovey-dovey when, you know, you're winning all these games, but when your back's against the wall, you're scrapping for everything you got, you know. And there's no doubt, and you know, he doesn't change. That earns a lot of respect from the guys he's leading, and so, you know, for me, I know I appreciate playing for him. He's definitely a coach that gets it, gives his players a lot of ownership, a lot of you know, feeling that everybody's role matters and that we're all included, and you know, so I think he has the respect of everybody in the locker room.
Do you have a sense of how players around the league view Doug as far as, you know,
Nah.
out of this locker room there's always so much praise. Do you think that permeates and people kind of have that respect for him?
Yeah,
Based on word of
well, yeah. I think that word gets around. I mean, you ask the players, how do you enjoy? You know, do you enjoy playing there? And I think the majority of guys will say yes. You know, and I don't know many people who have anything bad to say about Doug, just because he gives you the opportunity to be, you know, a part of it. We don't always agree with everything, like, you know, players sitting in the back of the plane all the time, but, you know, when it comes to what we do on this field and how we, you know, go to battle and him putting himself out there for his players, that's not nobody questions that, and that's appreciated.
I know you don't have a desk upstairs, but from where you stand, what does this team need? What can this team add?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me, the biggest thing that we faced was just injury, you know, and that's not anything you can really control in this league. So, you know, we'll see what happens, who we have, and who will remain, who will move on, and then you evaluate from there. But, you know, I think that's the most disappointing thing about this year is that I feel like we had everything we needed. You know, obviously through with injuries and other things, it just wasn't the case. But we got a lot of talent, and sometimes we have a lot of talent. It's just not enough room.
Does it sink in at all that the joy that you brought to the city and the fans and all that, does that sink in at all over the last year and a half? Winning the Super Bowl, coming back in the playoffs. You think about that at all?
Oh, yeah, I think everybody's well aware of what we've been able to accomplish over the last 2 years. You know, and you know, while in this moment, yeah, close up looking at this one game where we are in the loss, I think, you know, you get away from the game, get away from the building, you step back and be able to see. I mean, it was a short off season, you know, and so really it feels like, you know, one long year. And it's been a fun ride. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. But at the end of the day, still, you know, finding a way to fight and have fun. And so, yeah, we understand what we've been able to do.
As a follow-up to
Obviously, you
that-
can't look at injuries for, you know, something you can control, but when it comes to scheme, would you like to see the defense be more aggressive on third and long situations?
No.
As a follow-up to the previous question, you haven't had much time to kind of sit back and relax during the past year.
Right.
What's your off-season going to look like? Are you going to have some time for yourself, you think?
That's a priority of mine to do some traveling. Yeah, it's been a crazy couple years, but yeah, no, I'll get some rest. Just finishing it's my 10th season, so put a lot of miles on the car, so I relax, get my mind away, but I'm gonna come back ready to get at it again.
Are you feeling it?
Not really, no. to be honest, I feel pretty good.
Would you get to a certain point in your career where you say, all right, every offseason, okay, let me put a number on how many more seasons I think I have? Does that go through your mind?
Well, I think, you know, my personal goal when I first came in the league was I wanted to do 10 years. I think that's a milestone for anybody. You know, for me, as long as my health is good, as long as I'm still having fun and my passion's there, then, you know, I'll keep doing it, and all of which are intact. So, still going.
You said you're feeling good. I mean, what do you attribute that to at this point in your career? Have you learned to do a lot more things?
That's about it. I mean, I take care of my body a lot, but, you know, everybody gets hurt at some point. And so, I've been fortunate enough to miss that bug.
You got a lot of young guys here that really were thrust into bigger roles as the season went on. They credited you with helping them get acclimated. How much are you looking forward to working more with those guys in the offseason, getting them up even higher?
Well, I'm just excited to see where they go with their careers. You know, a lot of those guys have now put things on tape that'll give them opportunity, if not here, somewhere else. And that's, and I'm proud to be a part of that. Because I've seen a lot of guys get thrown into the situations they've been thrown in and fold, and they, fought through it, rose through it, and got better. So I'm excited to see, the trajectory of their careers, where that goes, and obviously, working with them next year.
What's on the travel schedule?
First stop is Ghana. Yeah.
For pleasure?
Pleasure, yes.
Now, was the loss of Rodney, for the season, was that maybe a little bit more harmful as far as people on the outside? Last year it was like Jordan Hicks and Jason Peters, and there wasn't as much when Rodney went down this year, but it seemed like that was a very critical injury for the group.
I mean, losing Rodney is a huge blow, especially when you add, Jalen Mills and Ronald Darby with that. You're talking about 3 out of your 4, starting members of the secondary. But that was big. Just from, another guy on the field that very headsy, makes all the calls, get guys lined up, explosive out of the post, and can create some havoc. You always miss that production, but I thought, Corey Graham did a good job of really playing more snaps than he signed up for. He was here, knowing that he was more of a role player, and then all of a sudden had to, he's not coming off the field most of the time. And then Trey Sullivan really being forced to, develop his game and play a bigger role, and got better as the season went on. So I thought it was good, from them, but what Rodney brings to the game is definitely missed.
I know obviously this is not the way that you guys want this season to end, but looking back on all the adversity that this team has gone through to get to divisional weekend, is there a moment that stands out on just how far this team has gone to fight for each other?
It's hard to say just one moment. I think you just look, throughout the season, just over and over and over again. When people counted us out, 3 games left when nobody thought we would make the playoffs. The only people that thought we would make it were the people in this building. So, we continue to fight, and that's been the dynamic of this team. The makeup of this team, really since I've gotten here. We got a group of leaders and a group of men. They do a good job of getting a group of men here that aren't going to back down from anything.
I know there's a lot of decisions that still need to be made about your future.
Yeah.
But what can you say about your time here in Philadelphia and the brotherhood and the culture of this Eagles team?
Yeah, this place is special for myself, for my family. Holds a special place in my heart. We'll see what happens. No guarantee. It's part of the business. We all understand that. But there's a lot can happen in these next few months, so we'll see.
How much of a home has this become for you, though?
Yeah, it's definitely home. It's, we've lived in the city. We've lived, here in South Philly. We've lived in Jersey, so we've really got to experience this city for all it is, and through all the highs and lows, and everything that I've gone through personally. It really, myself, my family, we've grown here, and again, it's a special place for us.
There's a lot of uncertainty with free agency, but what are you hoping for? Are you hoping to stay here in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, man. Honestly, like I said, this place is home, and it is. Hopes and whatever I want doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because whatever you want to be somewhere that you're wanted, and you got to see the market and figure out what is to come. And so, like you said, a lot of uncertainty, and a lot of different things could happen. Like I said, I love this place. I love Philly. I love the people here. I love this team, guys on this team. So,
Jordan,
yeah.
we've seen before when guys get injured in their contract year, they'll take a show me type of deal, 1-year deal. Is that something that you think you'd be willing to take?
Oh, we'll see. I really haven't even seen what the market is right now, and what it's looking like. So, like I said, we'll see. We'll see what happens when time comes.
Jordan, coming back from the injury, how did you feel the last few games?
This game, I felt like myself. Last game, I felt like myself. The 2 games after the injury, I was kind of easing myself back in. They didn't give me a lot of reps at all because they knew where I was. Just easing myself back in. But these past few weeks during the playoffs, I felt great. Really good.
How do you feel like you've grown as a leader over the last few years?
Man, it's funny. We've got so many leaders on this team. I've tried to take something from each and every one of them. Starting with D'Amico Ryans as a rookie, and seeing Malcolm Jenkins and Chris Long, and guys who are selfless, guys who are so involved in the community, guys who are a huge part of the direction that this team goes in. I try to take some from everybody. They're grown a lot in this place. It's really become a home for me.
D'Amico's out in San Francisco. Could that be a spot that would interest you potentially?
We'll see, man. And all these questions about free agency, my mind has been on this season. I need time to decompress. I need time to think things over. But there's a lot that's going to happen within the next few months. But right now, it's all up in the air.
What's your lasting memory of this season?
Just how hard this team fought. There were times when nobody counted us in and thought we would be able to make the playoffs, thought we'd be able to do what we did. But we knew we could compete with any team. And you've got a bunch of dogs in this locker room that are just going to fight to the end. And it doesn't matter who's across from us. It's they had the exact same teams, exact same offense they had last time we played them that they did this time. And played completely different. We didn't give up. We kept fighting to the very end.
Hey, Jordan, you said that you felt like yourself in these past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But the playing time still has been a limited role.
Yeah.
As you make your decision, how much of a priority is role going to be and being a 3-down linebacker?
Yeah. Well, I think I take a lot of pride in that. I think it's something that I've been able to do. I can do. I am. So definitely, that's obviously a part of it. I want to play. I want to play football. I love this game. I love being out there with my teammates and leading a group of guys and making a difference. And so definitely, you ask anybody in this locker room, that's absolutely, we want to play this game and want to play it at a high level.
But not everyone in the locker room has a decision to make.
Right.
Some guys are under contract.
Right,
so,
but
yeah.
when everybody is in that situation, they have an opportunity to play, and they're gonna take it. And so, you weigh all your options. And, right now I don't even know what those options are, and so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Some people react to free agency differently. Some really look forward to it. Some are just kind of, they don't know what to expect. I mean, have you kind of, I know it's all new here, but do you know how you think you'll feel?
No, I think it's, I don't know, man. I try to control, I've learned throughout my time and throughout my experiences to control the things that I can control. Can't control who's got interest in different things and, what your market is. And at that point, you try to play well. You go out there, make the best decision for yourself, for your family, and do it from there. I really don't have any nervousness or any type of ill feelings towards what's to come. I think whatever's meant to happen will.
You said back in May when you spoke in the media house to us that you were aware it was a contract year, but you weren't going to let it kind of, I guess, stay on your mind. Now that it's over, how do you think you played? What do you think you showed in the contract year?
Yeah. Honestly, I thought I played at a pretty high level when I was out there. Nobody's going to play perfect, but leading up to my injury, I played every snap, was up there in tackles in the league, and obviously this team wasn't necessarily where we wanted it to be, but as we continue to move, we overcame a lot, and so bouncing back from my injury, I think that shows a lot. That this game is physical, man, and I'm gonna do whatever I can to be back out there on the field. That injury, is pretty significant at the time, and I was able to make it back on the shorter end of that spectrum. So I think it's just at the end of the day, man, the character of who I am, the character of who I want to be, and what I bring to the table.
Are you optimistic or confident that the league is going to kind of view the Jordan Hicks that was on the field and not the one that was on the trainer
Dude,
table?
honestly, I have no clue. I am optimistic about that. I think you turn on the tape and look, I think that's really what matters. But it's a funny league, and you just don't know. You don't know. So we'll see. Again, I can't control that, so I focus on it. It's kind of where I'm at.